Since we're going to be taking the starter out, we disconnect the battery, which in this car is in the boot, trunk, there. For convenient access, we take out the dipstick. Unbolt the dipstick tube from this nut here. I've done it already. And gently pull out the dipstick tube. It takes a fair bit of a pull when it's actually inserted. Right. And that gives easier access to the starter, which is hidden down there. When I say the starter is hidden down there, it's actually in here under the inlet manifold. Find it by feel a lot easier than I can see it. I just got to unbolt the wires off the starter motor, which are at the end of my fingers. I think it's easier to get those after I've undone the starter motor bolts, which I'm going to do from underneath since I've got to get under the gearbox anyway. Officially, to get at the starter motor, you remove all this lot. And if I didn't wish to get under the car, that's what I would do. Yeah, so there's the starter motor. I'll take this. Back off. That's right. Refit it when the time comes. Okay. It should come out this way. And I'll have to stop on the way and undo all the cables, I guess. Let's see how far we can come. There. So there are a couple of terminals I can probably undo by feel, because I certainly can't see them. I just hope I can put them on again by feel when the time comes. Right. My motor self, there are two cables on that nut that I just undid. It was a 13mm nut, and there are 2 cables on it. Right. I just have to undo the other one. It was like a 10mm. It should with luck flop out this way. This is seen from above. Now, hidden around the back of this, there is a third cable with, I think, an 8mm nut on it. Yeah, 8mm fits it. Just for the joy of things. Thank you so much, BMW. Right, well, I finally got it off, and what a performance. Remember, there's 3 nuts to go on. There's an 8mm that goes on there. And it was a bastard to get off. There'll probably be a bastard to get back on again. 10mm goes on there. And a 13mm goes on there. And that 13mm has 2 cables on it. The other 13mm down there, don't need to touch. Right, the starter motor. New brush set comes with a nice little keeper in the middle to make it easier to install, which is good. 13mm. 7mm. Little screws here. Allow this cover plate to come off. There's just a little sliding clip there, just held in place by the cover plate over it. Wash it. And this will pull off. And we can actually pull the brushes out if you wish. At this stage, these are all fairly worn looking. Yeah, those are pretty well worn. Okay, I could fit the new brushes straight away, but I'll just take the motor out. That gear looks pretty good. And these gears are fine. I'll just put a little bit of grease on them. That looks to be in pretty good order. Gear on it looks nice. Yeah, do fine. So far as I can tell from the internet, the right grease to use is one with molybdenum on it, or lithium based. This one has both, so I'll just use a bit of this. A little bit in there, and a bit in there, to make sure this bearing stays lubricated. So now you can just pop this on and it slides on very nicely. Make sure it's the right way around the steel plate at the outside end. Just like that, no drama. Do not let this slip off because there's a hell of a job getting all the little brushes back in their holders afterwards. Guess how I know. Now, if we just try to put this in here, the magnetic field will grab this and drag it in there, and this will pop off and they will all go all over the place. Guess how I know that too? So the safe thing to do is to put that on. Install a little bit of grease there, and then install this cover plate with this locking ring here. Washer first, locking ring, then cover plate, and that will stop this from being yanked out from inside the brush holder. Cover on. It actually screws into the brush holder there. Now, this cannot be yanked out of the brushes, so we'll pop it in here. And it should fit on here. Seven long bolts. 13mm. Goes on like that. Well, that's the starter done. Well, we're going to place the starter. Probably easiest from below because it's not going to fit through the gap between that brake hose line and that. And then we'll see if we can get the 3 cables on at this stage. Oh, the starter goes up through there. You can see the cables from here. Whether you can reach them from here when the starter's in place is another matter. Well, the starter sits up there. I can see the back of it and the cables, and I can probably get them up through here. Yeah, I think I can. So that's what I'll do. You can just see the starter end from here and confirm that those terminals are on. I had to put them on by feel though, there's no way I could see it and reach it at the same time. Would I take the starter motor out from below another time? Well, only if I was removing the gearbox, obviously. The official way is to take all this inlet manifold and stuff off, and that's how I would do it. There's a lot of buggering around, but at least you're working from above and not crawling around under the car. And I think the starter motor terminals would be an awful lot easier to get at from above. But hopefully, having done the brushes, I'll never have to take the starter out again.